Did you know that the original idea for Deadpool and Wolverine was to make a fake movie disguised by a name called AlphaCop that has like a horrible or cheesy kind of trailer and a poster. And once you start watching it, then you for about a good hot minute, then you see the Marvel logo and the movie Deadpool and Wolverine starts. You didn't hear about this? Well, there is a clip that I got from Hot Ones that was released yesterday that I want to share with you. Here it is.
From a movie perspective, I am curious, like, when is a leak a good thing, and then when is it bad for the project? Like, what distinguishes that?
Great question. Really hard to kind of, I'm shocked that we've managed to get through this without some of our biggest surprises ending up even being hypothesized online. But man, it's hard to keep a secret. You know, I'll say, I've never talked about this before, but do you know that, and maybe you know this, the original idea with this movie was to shoot a fake movie called AlphaCop that was intentionally bad. Like the poster, I even had one of the posters made. It was about two guys who are sharing one brain, and together they make the ultimate cop. And the poster says, you know, AlphaCop, two cops, one brain, all balls. And it was meant to be kind of like horrible. And, you know, so you would go, you know, like 10 people in America would go to see this movie on opening weekend, and 5 minutes into the movie, the Marvel logo would flip up and it would actually be Deadpool and Wolverine.
Damn.
But the problem with, if you manage to get right down to the last minute and it gets blown, you know, it would be heartbreaking. So I don't know.
What'd you think about that? For me, I thought that would be a fantastic idea. And it makes me hopeful for the future of at least when Ryan Reynolds is involved. I think Ryan Reynolds definitely cares about and loves to make movies. I mean, there's probably some movies he goes for the paycheck, but he don't really need it. You know, I think he genuinely cares and about entertaining people, to make people laugh, people, you know, enjoy the story that's on the screen. But I think a lot of people are probably the same way with Ryan, but they don't really say much or do much because they can't, you know. But Ryan has the influence and the power to be able to make something better than most. But wouldn't that would be cool, man, if in the future another studio kind of get the idea and say, hey, we're going to make this movie, but we're going to disguise it as this. And once people see it, they'll be like, what the world? Can you imagine that? That would be legendary. That would honestly, I think, would separate it from any other movie at the time. And let me give you an example on something here. This is something I've been thinking about for years, right? Is how the interest level of any movie. Usually what we do is we watch a trailer, and for myself, we kind of like, I don't know. We watch the movie, oh, it's great, or vice versa. We go like, oh man, that's a freaking awesome trailer. When we watch the movie, it sucks, right? So we have that kind of thing we deal with. I had this idea maybe 5 years ago that basically you'll see a celebrity, it can be Morgan Freeman or somebody, walking into an empty room, like a white room, and just talk to the camera and just say, I got a good movie for you, but I don't have any trailers. Let me tell you what the story is about. And he begins to tell you a little bit of the story, or it kind of keeps your interest, and the trailer ends. But they don't show nothing. They don't say nothing about it. They don't tell you who's in it. And I always wonder, would people be curious enough to watch the movie? Right? Or they'd be like, well, this is stupid. Why don't they show a trailer? Because when you do something different, there's always a risk to that, right? Some people might absolutely love it, like myself, but some people who's used to the same kind of thing all the time, they would be like, this is so stupid, and jump ship and don't want to do it, right? There's always a risk factor. It's the same thing with Hollywood in general. That's the whole point of them going to prequels and sequels and just turning burn, all of these content stuff, because they're chicken. They don't have the balls to make a original story, right? And to a certain point, I understand. But, if you really want to, well, in the same kind of, in the same video on that Hot Ones, Ryan talks about how that most people can relate and remember characters and the story more so than the CGI that took place on that world. People remember the characters and one-liners or certain things more than they would the special effects of CGI. And he's 100% correct on that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with telling a little bit of a story in the CGI or the special effects. There's nothing bad with that. But it's always, heavy. You have to have a balance on how to tell it, right? But in movies, it's the same thing with telling a story. There's different ways you can tell a story. And Hollywood just goes back to what they're used to or safe with like Star Wars or Marvel, or DC is not there yet. I'm wondering how they'll tell a story. But just in movies alone, they need something like that to kind of catch audience off guard. Because I think that's the thing is, I'm going to try to make this video short and sweet. As a person, just Gen X here, because I was born in the 1900s, that's seen a lot of movies, you see the same kind of thing over and over and over and over again, right? If you want to make a difference, which I don't think they do, they just want money, right? Who doesn't? But I think if they really want to make a change or do something, they need to think outside the box, kind of like what Ryan Reynolds talking about, to make disguise a movie, but really it's something else. You know what I'm saying? To really do a shock and awe to the audience who actually was there to watch it. You know what I'm saying? I think that is. I hope they do that in the future. I hope some kind of studio says, you know what, let's do that. Screw it. And honestly, I think it would be legendary. 100%. And I kind of hope that in the future they would make it. But we'll see what happens. But I just wanted to share that clip with you and think what you thought about, what your opinions was for that particular story arc, if it ever happened. But anyways, thank you for lasting this long. I hope you all have a good rest of the day and try your best to stay out of trouble. See you later.